If you've been looking for a fast and simple way to jailbreak your PlayStation Vita or PlayStation TV, you've landed on the right video. My name is Blaine, and I've helped millions of gamers around the world jailbreak their game systems through this YouTube channel and my official website. I'll show you everything it takes step by step to go from your stock system software to a full-blown custom firmware system in no time at all. So fire up your Vita or your PlayStation TV, because you're about to level up your setup. What's amazing about this process is you don't even need a computer anymore. All you need is internet access for your Vita or PlayStation TV and either a memory card or use the internal storage on a Vita 2000 or PlayStation TV. The first step to installing custom firmware to your PlayStation Vita or PlayStation TV is accessing the browser. Navigate over to the browser bubble in the live area and then either tap on it or select it with X. Then tap on Start or select it with X to launch the browser. Before you visit the exploit page, it makes sense to check some key settings in the browser before proceeding. Press to the right on the D-pad and then scroll all the way down to the bottom to the ellipsis, those three dots down at the bottom right corner. Tap on it or select it with X, then come down to Settings and either tap or select Settings with the X button. In the Settings menu, make sure that you have a checkbox next to Allow Cookies, and also make sure there's a checkbox next to Enable JavaScript. Once you've confirmed that both have check marks, scroll the highlight down to the listing that says Delete Cookies and tap or press X. At the confirmation screen that appears, slide over to Yes with the D-pad and either tap or select Yes with X. Next up, scroll the highlight down to the listing that says Clear Search History and tap or press X. And again, at the confirmation message that appears, slide over to Yes and tap or select Yes with X. Excellent, your browser is now squeaky clean. Press the circle button to go back to the browser main menu. Next up, you'll need to visit a specific website to get the ball rolling. Push up on the D-pad and make sure you push all the way to the left to go from the search bar to the address bar. Then tap the address bar or press the X button. You can backspace over the existing website address by pressing and holding the square button on your Vita or PlayStation TV controller. Then enter the following website address: jailbreak.psp2.dev. Once you have the web address typed in, you can press the right shoulder button on your Vita or the right trigger button on a PSTV controller to launch the website. This will take you to what's called the 𝐿 website. If you take a look in the center of the screen, you'll see a button here that says Unlock My Vita. If you look at the right side navigation pane, you'll also see a flashing highlight around one of the icons. If you push to the left with the D-pad, it'll move control from the right navigation pane to a pointer in the browser window. Use the left analog stick to move the pointer over Unlock My Vita and tap on it or press X. In the bottom right corner, you'll see that there's a new menu choice called Unlock. Tap on it or come down to it with the pointer and select it with the X button. This will take you out of the web browser and take you into what's called the 𝐿 bootstrap. You'll see an arrow here that's defaulted to exit. Use the D-pad to move this arrow down one listing to Install 𝐘𝐿 and then select Install 𝐘𝐿 with the X button. It's 𝐘𝐿 that allows you to run homebrew applications on your Vita or PlayStation TV. Next up, you'll need to install Vita Deploy. It's an application that lets you install a series of homebrew applications to modify your Vita or PS TV. Scroll the arrow down to install Vita Deploy and select it with the X button. Both of these applications are lightweight and install quickly on your Vita or PS TV. Once it's done, you'll see a confirmation message on screen and you'll be taken back to the 𝐿 main menu. Good deal. You're done with 𝐿. The highlight arrow should already be on exit. Just press the X button on your device to exit 𝐿 and go back to the live area. It's 𝐘𝐿 that lets you install homebrew applications, but you need to activate it first. To do this, from the live area, go to the settings bubble and tap or select it with X. Then tap on Start or select it with X to launch settings. On the main menu of settings, you'll now see a new option called 𝐘𝐿 Settings. Make sure it's highlighted and either tap on it or select it with X. In the 𝐘𝐿 Settings menu, you'll see a listing here called Enable Homebrew. Come down to it with the D-pad and select it with X, or just tap on the box to put a check here. Once you've placed a check mark here, you're done with settings for the moment. You can press the PlayStation button either on the Vita or the controller and swipe from the right corner down, or press and hold circle to go back to the live area. See how easy this is? You're already halfway done. Stick around and I'll help you get the rest of the way through the process. Okay, it's time to deploy Vita Deploy for the first time. Use the D-pad to move the highlight over to Vita Deploy and select it with X or tap on it. Then tap on Start or press X to launch the application. Vita Deploy has a menu setup that's very similar to the system settings look and feel. About halfway down the menu, you'll see a listing that says Install a different OS. Tap on it or select it with the X button. The very first choice inside this submenu is called Quick 3.65 Install. Make sure the highlight's on it and select it with X or tap on it. Your system will take a moment to download an updater. Once the updater has been downloaded, it will download a 2-part package set to set up your custom firmware in the next step. You'll see a new application appear called Madoru. It's used to install your custom firmware to your system. You'll be asked if you want to downgrade your firmware. In this case, you do so that you can run custom firmware. Press the X button to continue. You'll be asked to read this admonition on screen before continuing. And let me just say, you don't get to use cool words like admonition very often. You got to take advantage when you can. Once the 20-second wait period is over, you'll see a prompt appear on screen asking you to accept the terms. Press the X button to continue. The automated process of installing your new custom firmware will take place automatically from here. It's important to make sure that your Vita or your PlayStation TV stays plugged in and powered on throughout this entire process. Once your custom firmware is installed, your Vita or PlayStation TV will restart and be taken back to the live area. Next up, you'll need to install an application called ITLS. The downloader for it is in the Vita Deploy package. Move that highlight over to Vita Deploy and tap or press X. Then at the start screen, tap or press X on start to load Vita Deploy once again. Okay, this time from the Vita Deploy home menu, scroll down past the listing for Install a Different OS until you get to the app downloader. Then tap on it or press X. You'll see a series of applications that you can download directly to your Vita or PlayStation TV. The one you're looking for is called ITLS. Keep scrolling down until you see the menu listing for it, then either press X on the empty checkbox or tap on it to put a check mark here. Move the highlighter all the way back up to the top of the menu. You'll see a listing here that says Download the selected app. Select it with X or tap on it. The download takes about a minute or so in real time. Once it's done, you'll see a message on screen telling you can now exit the application. Press the PlayStation button on your device or controller, then swipe from the right corner down or press an old circle to go back to the live area. You'll now see a new bubble in the live area called ITLS ENSO. ENSO is the name of the custom firmware. Use the D-pad to move the highlight to it, then either tap on it or select it with X. Then tap on Start or press X to load the ITLS installer. The arrow will already be highlighting a menu choice called Install the full ITLS package. Select it with the X button to complete the installation. Give your system about a minute or so to complete the install. Once it's done, your system will automatically reboot. Once your Vita or PlayStation TV is rebooted, you'll be back at the live area and your custom firmware will now be up and running. There are a few tasks that we need to take care of to finalize the setup though. First of all, let's make sure your newly installed custom firmware does not get overwritten by an official system software update. From the live area, navigate to the Settings bubble icon. Then tap or select it with X. Then at the start screen, tap on Start or select it with X to load the Settings menu. From the Settings main menu, use the D-pad to scroll the highlight down until you get to the listing for System. Then tap on System or select it with the X button. About halfway down the screen, you'll see a listing that says Auto Start Settings. Scroll down to it using the D-pad and then tap on Auto Start Settings or select it with the X button. The first menu listing in this sub-menu is called Download Update File for System Software. This is checked by default. Make sure you uncheck this so your system doesn't download a system software update and try to overwrite your newly installed custom firmware. Press the circle button on your Vita or PlayStation TV several times until you're taken all the way back to the main menu of the Settings application. All the way up at the very top, you'll see a listing again that says Henkaku Settings. Navigate back to it and then tap on it or press X. You already checked the Enable Unsafe Homebrew box in a previous step, but you'll want to make sure that there's a check mark next to Enable PSN Spoofing and also a check mark next to Enable Version Spoofing. These should be checked by default, but if they're not already checked, place a check mark in them now. Next up, come down to the listing that says Spoofed Version and either tap on it or press X to select it. In this case, the default spoofed version was 3.73, but since 3.74 is the most recent official software release, you should change this number from 3.73 to 3.74. You can use the pop-out numeric keypad to backspace over the 4, come over to the 3, and then select the 3 with the X button, then press the right shoulder button on a Vita or the right 2 trigger on the PlayStation TV controller to lock in this change. You can now close out the Settings application by pressing the PlayStation button on your device or controller, then swiping from the right corner down or pressing and holding the circle button to go back to the live area. It's really awesome that your Vita or PlayStation TV is now jailbroken, but there's a huge problem remaining. There's nothing fun to do with it yet. Let's fix that. Play thousands of your retro gaming favorites with this video on screen and linked in the video description and pinned comment. I'll see you over there.